You wake up at 2 in the morning and something is violently wrong. There is a sharp, tearing pain in your lower abdomen, right side. You try to shift in your bed, hoping it's just a pulled muscle or something you ate, but the pain flares so hot your vision blurs. You are sweating through your sheets. Your body is screaming at you that this is an emergency. But your brain is screaming something entirely different. Do not call an ambulance. You have $0 in your savings account and your bank balance currently sits at $42. You have no health insurance. In America, picking up your phone and dialing 911 for an ambulance ride is a guaranteed $2,000 bill just to be driven down the street. So you drag yourself to your car, gripping the steering wheel with white knuckles, and you drive yourself to the nearest emergency room. When you stumble through the sliding glass doors, you are not treated as a patient. You are treated as a financial liability. The triage nurse takes your vitals under the humming, harsh fluorescent lights. Because of a federal law called EMTALA, the hospital is legally required to stabilize you. But stabilize does not mean cure. It means they will do the bare minimum to ensure you don't die in their waiting room. You sit in a sticky vinyl chair for 6 agonizing hours, watching people bleed and cry before you are finally called back. A doctor sees you for exactly 3 minutes. They run a CT scan. It's appendicitis. You need surgery immediately. When you wake up, the pain is gone. But your financial life is effectively over. 2 weeks later, a thick manila envelope arrives in your mailbox. You open it, and the number stares back at you like a death sentence. $38,000. You make barely $30,000 a year. You cannot pay this. The hospital knows you cannot pay this. Within months, this debt is sold to a collection agency. Your credit score is annihilated. You can't get approved for an apartment, you can't finance a used car to get to work, and the stress begins to physically rot your health all over again. At the absolute bottom of the wealth ladder, the American healthcare system does not heal you. It acts as a financial guillotine, stabilizing your pulse just long enough to extract your future. But let's change the scenario. Let's say you aren't broke. Let's say you did everything right. You went to college, you got a solid corporate job, and you make $65,000 a year. You have a 401k, you shop at Home Depot on the weekends, and most importantly, you have an employer-sponsored health insurance plan. You pay $300 out of every paycheck for this privilege. You feel safe, you feel protected, you feel that exact same tearing pain in your abdomen. This time, you don't hesitate. You call the ambulance. You go to the hospital with the confidence of a fully insured, middle-class American citizen. They take your little plastic insurance card at the front desk, run your procedure, remove the appendix, and send you home to recover. A month later, you open your mail expecting a statement showing your insurance covered everything. Instead, you find a bill for $6,500. Panic sets in. You call your insurance company. You spend 45 minutes listening to hold music, interrupted by automated voices telling you how much they care about your well-being. Finally, a representative named Brenda comes on the line. She speaks to you in a calm, practiced voice. She explains that while the hospital you went to was in network, the anesthesiologist who put you to sleep was an independent contractor who was out of network. Your insurance refuses to cover his fee. Furthermore, your high-deductible plan requires you to pay the first $5,000 out of your own pocket before your coverage even kicks in. You try to argue. You ask how you were supposed to vet the anesthesiologist's network status while screaming in agony on a gurney. Brenda says she understands, but policy is policy. This is the hidden machinery of the American middle-class healthcare trap. You are paying thousands of dollars a year for a product that is mathematically designed to deny you service. Insurance companies employ armies of actuaries and algorithms whose sole purpose is to find loopholes to deny your claims. They use terms like prior authorization and medically necessary to put the burden of proof on you, the sick patient. You realize that your insurance isn't a shield against medical bankruptcy. It is merely a subscription service that gives you the privilege of arguing with a corporation over whether you deserve to avoid financial ruin. You drain your emergency savings to pay the bill. You are healed, but you are hollowed out. Now let's escalate this. Let's look at the upper middle class. You are a low millionaire. You make $300,000 a year. You live in a gated community with an HOA. You don't have a high deductible trap. You pay top dollar for a premium PPO plan. You don't worry about co-pays or surprise bills. If you get sick, you just throw money at the problem. But suddenly, you develop a chronic, mysterious pain in your joints. It's not an emergency room issue, but it's debilitating. You need a specialist, a top-tier rheumatologist. You log into your premium insurance portal, find the best doctor in your city, and call their office. The receptionist asks for your details, confirms your excellent insurance, and then delivers the punchline. The doctor's next available appointment is in 4.5 months. You are stunned. You have the money. You have the gold-tier insurance. Why do you have to wait 1/3 of a year while living in daily pain? Because at this level of wealth, you discover a totally different systemic collapse. You cannot buy your way out of the sheer infrastructural decay of American medicine. There is a massive, nationwide shortage of doctors. Private equity firms have quietly bought up thousands of private medical practices across the country. They have optimized these clinics like factory floors. When you finally wait out those 4.5 months and get into the examination room, the specialist walks in. They look exhausted. They barely make eye contact with you. They stare at a laptop screen, frantically typing notes. The private equity overlords who own this clinic have mandated that doctors must see a new patient every 7 to 10 minutes to maintain profit margins. The doctor is no longer a healer. They are an assembly line worker in a white coat. You try to explain the nuance of your pain, but the doctor cuts you off, writes a prescription to mask the symptoms, and rushes out the door to meet their quota. You realize the terrifying truth. Your wealth shielded you from the financial devastation of the hospital bill, but it could not buy you actual, attentive health care. You are still trapped in the same broken, overloaded system as everyone else, just waiting in a slightly nicer lobby. But there is a back door, a parallel universe that exists right beside ours, completely invisible to the average citizen. Let's ascend to the absolute peak. You are ultra-wealthy. You have a net worth of $50 million. You do not interact with the healthcare system we just described. You opted out entirely. Instead of an insurance card, you have a membership to a high-end concierge medical practice. You pay $40,000 a year, in cash, just to be on their roster. In exchange, you have the personal cell phone number of a world-class physician. You feel a sharp pain in your chest. You don't call 911. You don't go to an emergency room and wait with the public. You text your doctor. Within 30 minutes, that doctor is knocking on the front door of your mansion. They bring a portable EKG and an ultrasound machine into your living room. They spend 2 hours with you, holding your hand, listening to your heart, running tests on the spot. They determine you need a highly specialized, complex cardiac procedure. If a normal person needed this, they would wait 6 months just for the consultation, praying their insurance approves it. Your doctor doesn't deal with insurance. Your doctor pulls out their phone, calls the head of cardiology at the Mayo Clinic or Johns Hopkins directly, because they play golf together. The next morning, you are sitting in the leather seat of a private jet, flying across the country. When you arrive at the hospital, you do not go through the main entrance. You are escorted through a private VIP entrance in the basement. You are taken to a luxury hospital suite that looks like a 5-star hotel room, complete with a private chef and a mahogany desk. The top surgeon in the world performs your operation immediately. There are no algorithms denying your claim. There are no 7-minute time limits. The system suddenly works flawlessly, gracefully, and perfectly. This is the dark ultimate truth of the American healthcare infrastructure. It is not actually broken. It is functioning exactly as it was designed to. It is a dual-engine machine. The primary engine is built to commodify the sickness of the middle and lower classes, extracting maximum profit while delivering minimum care. The secondary engine is a luxury service, an exclusive fortress of longevity and comfort, reserved solely for those holding the VIP ticket. From the fluorescent purgatory of the public emergency room to the mahogany suites of the private hospital wing, the level of care you receive in this country is a direct mathematical reflection of your bank account. The system forces you to realize that in the United States, health is not a human right. It is a luxury good. And like all luxury goods, if you cannot afford the premium price, you are forced to settle for a defective product. So where does that leave you? It leaves you with the stark reality that your physical survival is intrinsically tied to your financial defense. You cannot rely on an employer plan to save you, and you cannot expect a corporation to prioritize your pulse over their profit margins. I want to know your strategy. Have you ever been trapped by a surprise medical bill, or are you actively building an emergency fund just to survive the healthcare system? Drop your story in the comments below, because shining a light on this is the only way we expose the machinery. If this breakdown changed how you view your own security, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a deep dive into the systems secretly running your life. And if you want to know exactly how private equity is quietly buying up the rest of your neighborhood, click the video on your screen right now. I'll see you in there.